Most people think building wealth is all about investing. But that's only part of the story. Imagine two people. They earn the same salary. They live in the same city. They have similar expenses. And they start at almost the exact same point financially. But 10 years later, one of them has over $100,000 invested. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck. So what actually changed? It wasn't luck. It wasn't some secret crypto investment. And it definitely wasn't because one person suddenly became a millionaire overnight. The difference came from one thing. A system. A system that consistently created a gap between income and spending. And then used that gap to buy assets that slowly grew over time. That's how wealth is really built. Quietly. Slowly. And at first, almost invisibly. Most people approach money backwards. At the end of the month, they check what's left in their bank account and think, maybe I can invest $50 this month. But wealth is rarely built with leftovers. Wealth is built intentionally. That's the mindset shift almost nobody talks about. Financially successful people usually invest first, then build their lifestyle around what remains, not the other way around. Now obviously, saving money matters. But many people focus too much on cutting tiny expenses. They stop buying coffee, cancel subscriptions, and avoid eating out. And yes, those things can help a little. But there's a limit to how much you can save. There's almost no limit to how much you can earn, and that changes everything. Because if your income stays exactly the same forever, building wealth becomes painfully slow. But if your income rises while your lifestyle stays relatively stable, momentum appears. Instead of investing $100 every month, maybe now you're investing $1,000. That dramatically changes the timeline. And this is where side hustles become powerful. Now when people hear the phrase side hustle, they often picture fake internet gurus standing next to rented Lamborghinis. That's not what this is about. A side hustle is simply an additional source of income outside your normal job. That's it. Today there are more opportunities than ever before. You can edit videos, design thumbnails, manage social media, tutor students, build websites, freelance online, sell digital products, flip items online, or even use AI tools to help businesses save time. The goal is not becoming rich overnight. The goal is creating additional invested income. Imagine your main job already covers your living expenses. Now imagine your side hustle generates an extra $800 every month. If you consistently invest that money instead of spending it, that's nearly $10,000 invested every year. And over time, compound interest starts building on top of those investments. That's when things become powerful. What makes side hustle income so effective is that you usually don't emotionally depend on it. That makes it easier to invest aggressively because people tend to spend the money that feels emotionally connected to survival. But extra income feels different. It feels optional. And optional money can become future freedom if you direct it correctly. But there's another strategy that might be even more important: investing in skills. This is one of the most overlooked wealth building strategies in the world. People spend years searching for the perfect investment, while increasing their income would have changed their financial life much faster. Think about it. If you improve your skills and increase your income by $20,000 per year, your ability to invest changes dramatically. That could mean learning sales, coding, marketing, video editing, copywriting, graphic design, public speaking, or AI tools. And thanks to the internet, most of these skills can now be learned from your bedroom. Now obviously, skill building takes effort, and this is where many people quit. Because in the beginning, progress feels painfully slow. You're not very good yet, nobody notices, and you barely make money. But learning valuable skills works exactly like investing. At first, the growth feels invisible. Then suddenly, your value starts compounding. And once your value increases, your income often follows. That's why the best investment you can make early in life is often yourself. Better skills create better opportunities, better jobs, better freelance work, better negotiations, better business opportunities, and eventually, better investments. But there's a trap almost everyone falls into the moment they start earning more money: lifestyle inflation. This quietly destroys financial progress. Someone gets a raise, then immediately upgrades their life. Better car. More expensive apartment. Luxury vacations. More subscriptions. More monthly payments. Suddenly they earn significantly more money, but their financial stress barely changes. That's dangerous because wealth is built in the gap between income and spending. The people who reach $100,000 fastest are usually not the people trying to look wealthy. They are the people protecting that gap, at least long enough for momentum to form. And momentum changes everything. Because the first $100,000 feels slow. At first, your investments barely move. You invest a few $100s, the market goes up a little, and nothing dramatic happens. That's why many people quit emotionally during the early years. Not publicly. Quietly. They stop believing the process is working. But this is exactly how compounding behaves. At the beginning, it whispers. Later, it roars. Think about pushing a giant snowball down a hill. At first it barely moves. You push and push and push. It feels heavy, slow, almost pointless. But eventually, the snowball gains momentum, and suddenly it starts moving on its own. That's what wealth building feels like. The first $100,000 is difficult because you are carrying almost the entire process yourself. Your savings matter more than your investment returns. Your discipline matters more than the market. You are the engine. But eventually, your money begins contributing too. Then one year your investments grow more than you personally added. Then another year the market adds the equivalent of several months of work. And that's when the emotional experience of money changes forever. Because for the first time, you realize wealth is no longer being built only through effort. It's being built through momentum. And momentum is powerful. That's why financially successful people often seem calmer. Not because they're infinitely rich, but because they finally have breathing room. They're no longer surviving month to month. Their money has started working alongside them. Let's look at a simple example. Meet Alex. Alex works a completely normal office job. Nothing glamorous. Nothing extraordinary. But instead of spending every evening scrolling social media or watching Netflix, he delivers food 3 nights per week. Not exciting. Not impressive. But effective. That side income gives him an extra $900 every month. Instead of spending it, he invests almost all of it into index funds. 5 years later, Alex reaches his first $100,000, while many of his friends are still living paycheck to paycheck. Not because Alex was smarter, but because he consistently invested additional income. Now meet Maya. Maya decides to learn video editing online. At first she barely earns anything, but she keeps improving. Eventually she starts freelancing for creators and businesses. Within 2 years, her freelance income becomes larger than her normal salary. And instead of dramatically upgrading her lifestyle, she invests most of the extra money. That's income acceleration. Then there's Chris. Chris earns more money too, but every salary increase immediately becomes a lifestyle upgrade. New car. Luxury trips. Expensive clothes. Fancy gadgets. From the outside, Chris looks successful. But financially, almost no real progress is happening. And honestly, this is one of the biggest illusions in modern society. Many people look rich long before they actually are. That's why patience becomes such a massive financial advantage. Most people cannot tolerate looking behind while building something meaningful. They want visible rewards immediately. But wealth usually grows invisibly at first, and that invisible phase is where almost everyone quits. The people who eventually succeed financially are usually the ones capable of delaying gratification long enough for momentum to form. Because eventually, the math changes. At first, every dollar invested feels small. Then 1 year of investment growth equals several months of your salary. Then your investments begin producing more money than your original contributions. And at some point, your money starts participating in the process alongside you. That's when acceleration begins. But remember this. Wealth building is not one giant life-changing decision. It's small, smart decisions repeated consistently for years. Choosing to invest instead of instantly spending. choosing to learn valuable skills. Choosing long-term freedom over short-term validation. That's what separates people financially over time. Not luck. Not intelligence. Not background. Habits. And honestly, the scary part is that 5 years from now, many people will still be stuck in the exact same financial situation. Same stress. Same paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Same excuses. But the exciting part is this: you do not have to be one of them. One decision today can completely change your future direction. A side hustle started this month could become a major income stream next year. A skill you begin learning tonight could completely transform your career opportunities. An investment started today could quietly grow for decades. That's how wealth is really built. Slowly at first. Then suddenly. So stop focusing only on how far away $100,000 feels right now. Focus on becoming the type of person who consistently moves toward it. Because once momentum starts, everything changes. Your investments grow faster. Your confidence grows. And eventually, your money starts working as hard as you do. And maybe that's the most important lesson of all. Disclaimer. The content provided on this channel is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions, analyses, and statements expressed are based on personal experience, personal research, and publicly available information and are subject to change without notice. No guarantee is made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any information presented. Investing in stocks, cryptocurrencies, ETFs, or any other financial instruments involves substantial risk and may result in the partial or complete loss of capital. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Nothing on this channel should be interpreted as a recommendation, solicitation, or endorsement to buy or sell any securities or financial products. All investment decisions are made solely at your own risk and responsibility. Viewers should conduct their own independent research and consult with a licensed financial advisor, tax professional, or legal advisor before making any financial decisions. The creator of this channel assumes no liability for any financial losses, damages, or other consequences arising directly or indirectly from the use of the information provided in this content.